Okay, I'm ready. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to the ICAT Playdate. This morning we're talking about NFTs. Before we get started, I'm Phyllis Newbill. I am the Associate Director of Educational Networks at the Center for Educational Networks and Impacts within ICAT. I'm so glad you all are here, both in person and also online. Welcome. For those of you who are in the room, we are streaming in 360 onto YouTube right now, and that will be available for people to watch later as well. I just want you to be aware of that. Couple of announcements before we get started. Today is the deadline for the Roger and Debbie West Student Seed Grants. If you're interested in those, ask any of the ICAT folks who are around. We've got more information about those, but that deadline is today at 5 p.m. Not midnight, 5 p.m. Okay. Also, in the way of announcements, next week's Playdate is on posture portraits. This is an ICAT mini seed grant, and there are shows on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Check out the ICAT website for more information about those. If you haven't signed the sign-in sheet, please do that. That's how we justify donuts, and we understand that that is very important to us. Finally, if you have questions during the presentation, if you're online, I hope you'll use the questions box or questions button and send those. I'll get those right here. Send those anytime questions or comments. If you're in the room and you have questions, when we get to the question and answer period, just let me know. The only way that you'll be heard online and also our speaker will hear you is if you speak into a mic, so wait till I get there. And I'll hold the mic and you can ask the questions or give your comments. Any other announcements from around the room? Did I miss anything? Okay. Welcome. So this morning we're talking about non-fungible tokens and exploring new artistic formats. We have with us Becky Chung and Brian Walter from Voice. And I'm going to turn it over to them to tell us about this exciting and new technology. Becky?
Great. Thank you, Phyllis. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm super excited to be here. As Phyllis mentioned, we're here to talk about NFTs, the artistic potential of NFTs, and to talk a little bit about what Voice does. Voice is the company that we're representing here today. Just a quick intro. I am a lead technologist at Voice and a product manager, specifically working on the creation side. And Brian Walter is a senior director of engineering here. So yeah, let us start off with a little bit of a primer. What are NFTs? NFTs, in a nutshell, first of all, it stands for non-fungible tokens. In a nutshell, they are unique digital items that can be verified and validated using blockchain technology. This essentially makes them irreplaceable. NFTs are representations, so they can represent various items such as photos, videos, audio, and any other type of digital file. And they also contain a lot of information around the creator of the work, the time it was created, the people that have worked on it, the co-collaborators, and information around how this creator can get paid after the first sale. The format itself is a store for value, which is really exciting and interesting. The ownership of this work can't be copied or replicated. And because of these nuances of this new format, creators can create and collaborate and earn in a lot of different ways. Here are a few examples of NFTs in the world. I'm sure many of you have heard about Beeple. Beeple kind of kicked off the NFT craze earlier last year, this past year. And you know, one of my favorite pieces that he's made is he did a collection of 5,000 digital art pieces over the course of 5,000 days. And this entire entity was sold at Christie's a few months ago. NFTs are also being used in a lot of creative ways, being combined with memes. Nyan Cat, which everybody is familiar with, this year was actually Nyan Cat's 10-year anniversary, and the founder, Chris Torres, back in the day when he first created it, didn't realize it would become such a viral phenomenon. And this year, he really took the idea of ownership that comes with the NFT and decided he wanted to reconsider the ownership of this meme. And so he launched and sold the Nyan Cat image via a platform called Foundation. The other really cool thing about NFTs is that it's sort of unlocking and interacting with the collectible scene. So you might have heard about NBA Top Shot, where people can collect various moments from different historical games in NBA's history. Some other examples, NFTs are really a creative medium, and I love how artists have been experimenting with the idea around ownership and scarcity, and really trying different things. Art Blocks is a really awesome platform where artists can launch generative art projects. So as a potential collector, you could own a piece of work that is part of a generative art piece that is launched and executed within a certain amount of time. NFTs are also allowing for really interesting curatorial opportunities. This piece, Void Walker, that you guys are seeing right now, was part of an awesome art show called Digital Diaspora, Liberating Black Creativity, a show that was curated and put on by a really awesome digital artist, 17 years old, Black and queer, and she curated a bunch of digital artists to come together around the theme of Black Afrofuturism. And this gallery was also, the show was put on in conjunction with a physical space. And then finally, one of my favorite artists, Aria Harvey, who's mostly known for art games, launched a series around 3D pieces. I would definitely encourage anyone who's interested to check out the Bitforms Gallery website, where you can interact with the 3D object in a cool way and really get to see all of the pieces as a whole as part of that series. So with so many different opportunities of NFTs so many opportunities in the NFT space, Voice really wanted to do something different. NFTs, we realize, are really hard to get into. There are a few different barriers to entry. One of them is that it is extremely technical, so you have to have a deep understanding about blockchain and really start to delve into that world a little bit more. You also need to, for most platforms, you need to have a crypto wallet in order for you to even start to think about collecting a piece. So we are a mission-oriented organization, and so we really wanted to empower creators. We also realized that we had awesome technology that had already been built, and that we could use that to empower creators. So we decided that we wanted to focus on making minting and buying NFTs easy for everyone. No matter what your technical abilities are, no matter if you are an emerging artist or you're an established artist, we really made sure that every feature that we built was funneled up to this mission of making NFTs accessible for everybody. And we launched in September 2021. So still fresh. Yeah, so there are a few things that make Voice different from other platforms. Voice is built on a different blockchain, which allows us to be carbon neutral and free to mint. Other blockchains, you'll hear about gas fees and just the amount of energy that is used that really affects our climate in a negative way. We also decided that we wanted to accept credit cards. We wanted to ease the barrier to entry for collecting. So we started out with credit card payments first. We have collaborative tools. We allow you to attribute various co-creators. We also have something called creator appreciation, which means that you as a creator can continue to get paid every time your work sells in perpetuity. And this is all logged on the blockchain. And finally, just to reiterate, it's available for everyone. Again, wanted everybody to have an equal footing in this really cool experimental NFT space that we're building together. And here are a few screenshots of our site. I do hope you guys get a chance to check it out afterwards. On the left, or I guess, yeah, on the left, you're looking at a profile page. As we were thinking through this, we wanted the profile page to really showcase, to be an artist's homepage, essentially. So in addition to the creations, we also showcase your collectibles. As you can see, Mani, one of the artists that we worked with, she has some really awesome work. We just launched all 6 of her pieces a few weeks ago, and they sold out immediately. And yeah, they're really, really awesome. I definitely recommend everybody check it out. On the right is an NFT page. Here, our goal was to make sure that the NFT is represented as accurately as possible. You could see information on this page. This information is added to the NFT and is what we call immutable information, and is part of every the file and the entity that the NFT is. And finally, this is our creation tool. Again, just going back to making NFTs easy for everyone. We kept it super simple, 4 steps. You start by uploading a file. Right now we have a broad range of file formats available for you to upload. Then you can describe your NFT, add your co-creators, and review everything, and finally publish your NFT to Voice. It's really, truly that simple. And yeah, as we were building our beta, we realized the need for us to constantly communicate with creators. So we really wanted to create a space and an opportunity for us to be able to learn from creators who have been doing this for a really long time. So this summer, we brought together a bunch of emerging creatives to mint NFTs, but also really to think about pushing this format and finding new innovative ways for us to experiment with the NFT format. So we kicked off a residency. The Voice NFT residency happened over the summer. It consisted of 6 curators, 18 lead creators who brought on 50 plus co-creators. And together they've produced or created over 100 NFTs. Voice also worked very closely with these creators by providing resources, including access to various tech and engineering teams, and mentorship within from their mentorship from leaders in their creative fields. I was one of these tech representatives who worked very closely with the residents, And I'd love to tell you a little bit more about one of the creators that I work with. Geica Tavares is really, really awesome. He is a multidisciplinary artist based in South London, and he came to us with an idea. He really loved music. His work has centered around the intersection of music, film, literature. His aesthetic, he's described as ghetto futurism. He wanted to combine his music and audiovisual video experiments with data. So he proposed a project called Live from War Island. It would be 3 audiovisual performances in 1 week. He would do a 3D rendering of himself and create live generative effects. Voice, as a team, we were like, what can we bring to the table? How can we collaborate with this artist? And so we worked with him to hook up the generative effects to data from our blockchain and from Voice's website. And these visual performances ran for a week, and Gaika is now working on taking different segments and minting them into NFTs. And we also supported him by creating a landing page where we house the live streams. And on the left, you can see the example of that page. On the right are some screenshots from the live performances. You could see some of the effects. It was super cool way to tie in an ephemeral performance with the permanence of an NFT format at the end. So as you can see, we are collaborating with creators. We are learning from them. We are experimenting and using our own technological abilities to help push the conversation forward. So that brings me to the future of NFT creation. There are a few things that I'm super excited about and would love to see more creators jump into and explore. First, I think that there are so many opportunities within formats. I think that we've just started, and right now we offer around, we have 10 formats available on our platform, but how do we continue to push the boundaries of digital media? So I think with NFTs, you can do really special things, and you can add value to different experiences. So I'd love to see more projects that are interactive. I've seen a few that have been time-based. As I mentioned before, Art Blocks is a really awesome generative art project. I think there's definitely more exploration to be done around that. And I think that the physical and digital spaces are merging in a really cool way. You might have heard of the term metaverse. And I'd love to continue to push on what those boundaries mean. Secondly, I'm really excited about the new economic models that are emerging from our explorations with NFTs. So, how can we continue to experiment with value and ownership? I mentioned collaborator appreciation earlier. We've created a foundation, and we're starting off exploring this, but there are so many different levels to how we can utilize the blockchain technology in order to make sure creators get paid. I also think that there are some really cool opportunities for using NFTs for good. Imani, whose profile page that I showed you earlier, Imani donated all of the funds from the primary sales to her nonprofit to benefit low-income kids who are in need of design and tech education. I think that we can experiment with tokenization. That's a fundamental sort of um, crypto facet. And there are communities that are cropping up. Community ownership is a hot topic. And finally, sustainable income. I'd love to see us transform NFTs into a more sustainable way of allowing creators to continue to benefit. And then finally, I think that NFTs really open up this world of collaboration. So, how do we continue to get more people to participate? I think that there are a lot of experiments that we could do with the formats, as I mentioned before. Maybe there's a few cool projects out there where you can create with other people different layers and have that be an NFT. I think we could also work with attribution and distribution, and then maybe even experiment with different ways of accessing different pieces of the NFT. And yeah, that concludes my talk on NFTs. Thank you everyone for listening. I'd love to hear your questions. Also, here's my email address if anybody wants to reach out and talk some more. But yeah, that concludes the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Becky. That was, I say sometimes at ICAT that my mind is blown at least twice a week, and it was like 5 times during it. So thank you. You gave us such a great explanation to something that I think is very new to many of us, at least. We do have some questions coming in. Are there questions in the room? Should I start with someone in the room? If someone's got a burning question, I'll come to you. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is William. I just want to ask, how do you make sure that your blockchain is carbon neutral?
So, and I'll take that question. The blockchain technology that we utilize is called EOS.io. In nature, it doesn't use the amount of energy that some of the more commonly known ones like Ethereum or what Bitcoin's running on. So that's built into the technology that underpins everything that our platform is about. But good question. EOS.io, so it's EOS.io is the underlying blockchain technology. Yep.
Good question. Thank you. So here's a question from online. If you buy an NFT as a person who wishes to have one, then what? What do you do with it?
It depends on what you're buying it for, I guess. If it's artwork, and that's a lot of what we have on our platform, is creators that are expressing themselves through artwork and selling it that way. But also a lot of the things that we see in industry are collectibles. Becky showed NBA Top Shot as a popular website. Space Jam collectibles are something that came recently. There's a lot of different uses for them. Some of them are collectibles and reselling to make a profit off of them that way. But so that's one of the big questions. What do you do with it? And that's some of the things that we're exploring on how do you okay, now I've got this digital asset, whether it's a Beeple picture or if it's something that I bought off of a voice. How do I display it? How do I use it? What it's sitting on my laptop or sitting on my phone, or what do I do with it? So, but it's typically up to the user. They've put value into it because they've purchased it, obviously, but that's what we're seeing, and there's just new ways of doing it. I'll stop there for a minute because there are endless ways of doing that, of what NFTs are good for, and whether they represent a physical product that is a token token really of authenticity that you own it, whether it's a real physical piece of art, whether it's a automobile or a bicycle or anything like that.
I think of the token as, and I think in metaphors, I think of the token as like a foot ornament. Like it shows this is the thing that I have. I own
Correct.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, from the technology side of things, that token in your that you have connected to the blockchain is then that proof that you own it, and if you sell it, that transaction gets recorded on the blockchain. That's immutable and passed from one person to another or one entity to another. But that's a good question, because that's one of the most popular questions that people ask. What the heck does, what do you do with it? It's a file.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to all the ways that we've used art, and we've always using art to make our spaces lovely, but then, adding art to T-shirts and to architecture and to bumper stickers and to all the things all the places we put it. This is just another place. What other questions are in the room? I'll come to you.
Can you talk a little bit about the collaboration between the two of you? You're in two different cities, and what is the relevance of Blacksburg or the Corporate Research Center?
Sure. Voice itself started out as a project that was funded by Block One, which is located here in Blacksburg, or an office here. We broke off as a company on our own over a year and a half ago. A lot of the core engineers that built the first iteration of it were in this area. And we opened an office in Brooklyn, and that's where our headquarters are now, but we still have some core software engineers and some people that started out on the project that are still here. So that's the relationship. When we broke apart, when we started as a company, we were already in COVID, so we were already in remote situations, and it's just continued with that. So it works well. Becky could speak to it too, I think, but we do value face-to-face, and that's hard right now. But I think we know each other really well, and it does work well. So the folks that are here are represented in the New River and Roanoke Valleys, but it's been successful for us. I think so.
Becky, do you want to speak to that as well?
Yeah, sure. I definitely think it's a very special company because we have these different perspectives from these different places. And I found it really exciting to work with so many technical experts who are based in Virginia. And it's been a really special experience. And I think the pandemic did help us sort of move into this remote world and made things a little bit easier for us to communicate and to collaborate. And we wouldn't have built this without some stellar collaboration between the New York team, the Virginia team. We've got some people in Minnesota. We got people on the West Coast now. I think we're gonna just continue to evolve and grow both teams.
I would add to that too that to be successful, you need a lot of elements, and some companies are really, really strong in engineering, or really, really strong in the product side of things, and that's what's made us successful. We have strong leadership. We have really, really good engineers. I'll boast that for my team because that's the side of the product that we're on. But we work really well together that way, and have visionaries and have people that understand the market that we're in.
Excellent. Thank you. We are at time this morning, so I want to thank you all, both Becky and Brian, for being here this morning and for illuminating this concept for us. So let's give another round of applause for Becky and Brian. I believe there are a few more donuts for those who are on site. If you have continued questions, you have Becky's email address there, and Brian is here. And Becky, can we keep you on Zoom for a few minutes? Okay, no,
Sure.
we cannot. We have to.
Oh.
Okay, that's right. We have a thing coming into we have to clear out the cube soon. So, Becky, we'll talk to you via email. Thank you. And thank you everyone for being here this morning. And we'll see you next week for